Warm greetings from the High 10. It's Everyday Shenanigans. Thanks for joining me. Hope you all are well. Just want to let the fans know that today I will be going in to the hospital to get a throat scan. So you guys have been mentioning about the throat issue and seeing a doctor, and out of the blue, boom, I get notification to uh, go in for a scan. Appointment was already made, so somebody heard me upstairs and somebody heard the fans talking. Amen. And thank you all for the kind words and prayers. I'm appreciative uh, for the comments left on the community page and appreciative of your prayers. I appreciate that. Thank you all so much. Hello, Rambling. The content I'm about to bring to you is a story out of New York. I'm only bringing this story because a positive result has come to fruition as far as the child being found. But other than that, there will be no other children's stories here except for ones that I've already covered. So I'm going to go ahead and get started in that said content. Know that this is an ever-evolving story. There are different versions and informations in the Google search pertaining to this article. So I just brought up the latest one by CNN, and it was just uploaded under 30 minutes ago. 2 years after a 4-year-old was reported missing, police find her alive under a staircase. A child who was reported missing in 2019 when she was 4 years old was found hidden under a wooden staircase with her non-custodial mother in a home officials had visited several times while investigating her disappearance, authorities said Tuesday. The child, Paisley Joanne Schultes, now 6, was reported missing on July 13, 2019, from Cayuga Heights, a village on the outskirts of Ithaca, New York. At the time, she was believed to have been abducted by her non-custodial parents, Kimberly Cooper and Kirk Schultes Jr., police said in news release. Okay. So I want to make sure I get all that right. Okay. So it was believed that she was abducted by her non-custodial parents, Kimberly Cooper and Kirk Schultes. Paisley was found Monday when investigators spotted a pair of tiny feet in a secret space under wooden steps leading to a basement. And know that when you go into the said article and possibly other content, you will see the makeshift area where the child was stowed away. It was very dirty and nasty, where she was sleeping, lying, hidden, whichever word you would like to use. Throughout the 2.5-year investigation, authorities received several tips about the Saugerties area home where the child was eventually located. But each time, the residents denied knowing anything about the girl's whereabouts, the release said. The town of Saugerties is about 160 miles east of Cayuga Heights. Each time we were met with resistance from the occupants of the residence, we were told that the child was not there, that they were only harassing the family, Saugerties Police Chief Joseph Sinagra told HLN in an interview on Tuesday. On several occasions, investigators were allowed into the home without a warrant, but they were given limited access by Kirk Schultes Jr. and Kirk Schultes Sr., the release added. Now, naturally, this is the bio father and the grandfather, and I'm assuming this house belongs to the grandfather, is what I have read. That changed Monday when police received information the child was being hidden and got a search warrant for the home. Police executed the warrant a little after 8 p.m., the release said. The homeowner denied knowing the girl's whereabouts, saying he had not seen her since she was reported missing in 2019, the release added. And note that there's a picture in here that is very disgusting. Dirty blankets and stuffed animals in this, what I would consider a small crawl space. And it says, police said the secret location underneath the stairs to the basement appeared to have been built to hide the girl. So naturally, in another content that I have, this was at the back of the house, the location of these stairs. And I will go back and recap on that information if it's not in this article. An hour into the search, one detective noticed the steps leading to the basement were oddly constructed. The detective, Eric Thiel, pointed a flashlight through a crack in the wooden steps and saw what seemed to be a blanket, the release said. Investigators removed several of the steps, the release added, and that is when detectives saw a pair of tiny feet. The child and her abductor, Kimberly Cooper, were found hiding in the dark and wet enclosure, the police release said. Authorities believe Cooper and the child have been staying at the home since they disappeared in 2019, Sinagra said, adding the staircase appeared to have been built to hide them both. Police arrested the child's non-custodial parents as well as Schultes Sr., the release said. Cooper was charged with 2 misdemeanors, custodial interference in the second degree, and endangering the welfare of a child, and remains in jail because of a prior arrest warrant issued through family court, according to the police. Kirk Schultes Jr. and Kirk Schultes Sr. were each charged with custodial interference in the first degree, a felony, and endangering the welfare of a child, a misdemeanor. Both were arraigned and released on their own recognizance. Police said all 3 defendants were ordered by the court to stay away from the child. CNN was unable to identify attorneys for the defendants or reach the 3 individuals or family members for comment. The child was found to be in good health and released to her legal guardian and united with her older sister, police said. On Tuesday, detectives met with the family that has the child, and she was in very good spirits, the chief said. The young girl was upset and was concerned when police first rescued her, Sinagra said. That begs the question, what was the child told about the police, and why the police would come and take her, Sinagra said. That's what I'm concerned about. And I'm sure that when she saw several of our officers who were heavily armed, that was somewhat traumatizing to the child. Before she was released to her legal guardian, detectives drove the girl to police headquarters in part so medics could examine her. As they drove, she saw McDonald's and recalled having some a long time ago, the chief said. So the detectives turned the car around and went to the drive-thru at McDonald's, picked her up a Happy Meal, and brought her back to headquarters. And she was fine after that, the chief added. An investigation is ongoing, the news release reads. This is a article just uploaded by CNN. And as I said, it's an ever-evolving story, so information will vary naturally. Let me start here by saying this is the most vile piece of information read, because this grandfather knew that they interfered in getting the child from wherever. I do not know who had sole custody of the child, but the crazy part is that she's been missing since 2019. They've gone to this house, searched around, partially, led in by the senior, I'm assuming, the older man. He's playing dumb like he don't know where they are, and they're in this house all alone. It is now 2022. So that's at least 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago, depending on the month in 2019 when the child went missing. What I have to ask myself are the obvious questions. How did the mother get access to the child to get her, kidnap her? How have they been living this long inside of a makeshift box? Because when they went there, naturally, they had to have seen the police outside, heard them knocking, and went in that makeshift box. I'm telling myself, please tell me they have not been literally sleeping under these stairs since 2019. 3, who is the person that had knowledge of them staying at this home? So that is just as baffling. The person who made the 911 call. How long have you known that this woman had her child alongside the father and the grandfather? So that means more than the 3 people involved knew of the child being there at the house. So see, the plot thickens. And the fact that it was so disgusting in that little makeshift box, nasty blankets, stuffed animals from the pictures, shows someone had been sleeping in this nasty box, wet, damp, molded, I'm sure. What the hell is wrong with these people? The grandfather, you are shameful to aid them to stay there. The mother, you are shameful for taking your child illegally. And the father, you are also a culprit. And I think it's disgusting that the 2, father and son, have bailed out on their own recognizance. Judge, I'm going to say something to you directly. What is your damn problem? They've been aiding each other, because you really can't say one's worse than the other. They're all three guilty, hiding out this child and the mother. And you will let them bond out of jail and walk free. For what reason? So now we have to wonder what the charges will be, if there'll be a plea, and what the sentence will be. This is utter ridiculous, sickening, baffling, trifling, pathetic. All the horrible words you can put all in one sentence. You see, this is the problem with America right now. It's the knowledge of bullshit. People are walking around knowing how people are living, knowing where fugitives are, knowing where people are hiding out, knowing the misdeeds they're doing, knowing the crimes that they've committed, knowing the things, all these ugly secrets people have knowledge of. And I've said this time and time again. Don't ever think somebody doesn't know somebody's secret, such as this. Because now you're going into 2-3 years, somebody knew of the secret and finally called 911 on Monday to tell them where the child could be located. Police has been to this house before. So now we have to ask ourselves, when was the last time the police knocked on the door? And when was the last time Mr. Senior let them in to look around partially? See, this is where I have the problem with this story. If you all have been to this house before, because I have another article where they said they suspected the mother took the child to this location. Well, if you suspected the child was at that location, you should have got a warrant on the spot, because that means somebody had to have given you information then to make you think she took her there in 2019. Why is it in 2022 we just now have someone calling in saying, hey, I know where you can find the mother and the child? And voila, search warrant, they find them. Crawled up under a damn landing like some cat trying to hide their kittens. This is ridiculous. Why didn't you all execute a warrant in 2019? Because somebody had to have given you information to go to that house years ago. And you admit that you've been inside of the house partially. So why wouldn't you go get a warrant day one when you heard that it's possible the child was there? So that means you've been walking around as policemen in the town where the child and the mother were hiding under a damn stair landing. And you all didn't think to ever watch the house. As I said, execute a search warrant to see one who's going in and out of the house. You want me to believe for 2 years, 3 years, this lady never came outside the house with the little girl. She never came outside the house to go to the park, McDonald's, Chuck E. Cheese, nothing. So how was she eating, clothes, toiletries, deodorant? So you mean to tell me the father and his father went to the store, bought groceries and all this, toiletries for the child and the mother. The mother never stepped foot outside the house since 2019. Never once stepped outside, went to a Walmart, grocery store, nothing with her daughter. That also means the child never got medical attention for 3 years, 2.5 years. 2.5 years is what was said. So funny they would use that, 2.5. 2.5. No doctor, no visits to the dentist, no interaction with other children, no interaction with the outside world, no looking at cartoons, playing with toys, going to the toy store, birthdays, holidays. What the fuck are we talking about here? So now we ask ourselves, what was released to the public pertaining to the missing child? Were there flyers? See, you can go on with this story 1,000 different ways. What was released to the public pertaining to the missing child? Did you all have flyers up in the town? Did you do news reports of the child missing? was an Amber Alert issued in the state of New York? Is there currently an Amber Alert up until Monday of the child? Because this don't make no damn sense. So you're sitting here looking for a child, allegedly. She's hiding under a staircase with her stupid mother. And lady, you need your ass whipped. Because I want to know how you were able to get a hold of your child to disappear with her, kidnap her, and the father, you as well. So you all were non-custodial parents. So that means 9 times out of 10, you lost your rights to the child. So now let's go to that question. Why did you not have custody of your daughter? Thousands of questions you can ask now. Who, why, what, when, where. Why did you lose custody of your child? What happened? Who was the person that had legal custody? Who was the person that has the custody now? Same person, I'm assuming. They said she was reunited with her older sister. How old is the older sister? Is this a sister that's under the age of 18? Living with the said custodial person, guardian. Who is the person that has custody of the child now? How was it possible that this woman and man got the child? How is it you all went to this house in New York years ago, but yet didn't think to get a whole search warrant to search that same damn house that you went back to Monday? This makes no sense. How long was the child out of the mother's custody? How many children does the mother have total? Why were her children removed out of her care? And what in the hell is going on with law enforcement in New York? Because to me, this is shameful to have to go double back to the same house that allegedly you've been to. And then voila, you see a crack in a staircase and decide to dismantle the stairs and find the child and mother hiding in a cubby hole of a staircase. This is ridiculous. Because you can't make this make sense that you went there before years ago. So once again, when was the last time you went to the house pertaining to the child? Last week, first of the year, December 21, what? Fall 21, what? Yes, scandalous indeed. Because this looks shameful on the police department that you've been here. It's not like you hadn't been here. You've been there a few times. But it didn't dawn on you to go to the judge and say, we need a warrant. We believe that child and mother are in this house. That's why you have surveillance. You watch the house, see who's coming and going, watch to see what they're carrying in and out, look and see in the garbage can what they've thrown away. Everybody knows that once you throw away trash, it's public. You follow the dump truck off the property. I know the law. You pull the dump truck over to the side and you empty the container, their trash specifically, and see what's in the trash can. Police have been doing this for years. 1, to collect DNA. 2, to collect any type of evidence to help with whatever they're investigating. And common sense would tell you at the age that she was kidnapped, she would still be eating children things such as cereal. Jesus Christ. This is baffling to me. The mother's currently in jail because she had another violation from the courts. So she's currently in jail. The bio donor father and his father are currently out of jail on their own recognizance, which is still trifling that the judge will let them out, because they're facing a felony and a misdemeanor. So why would you even let them out? After all that's been done and not done pertaining to this child, you will let the father and his father out of jail. Why? Make them pay. Make people stand account for the misdeeds against children. Because what we have to ask ourselves, when it's time to go to court and face the music, what sentence are you going to give them? Since you're already letting them out on their own recognizance, then what are you going to give them as a sentence? Lord have mercy. Never heard of such craziness in all my life. Whew, what a story. This is out of New York. I'll recap what I've brought to you. Child was reported missing in 2019. She was 4 at the time. I'm going to have to change my age on the title of this video because she is now 6. Her name is Paisley Joanne Schultes. Reported July 13, 2019 from Cayuga Heights, a village on the outskirts of Ithaca, New York. So we're talking about upstate New York. At the time, it was believed that she was abducted by her non-custodial parents, Kimberly Cooper and Kirk Schultes Jr. Paisley was found Monday when investigators spotted a pair of tiny feet in a secret space under wooden steps leading to a basement. This is an investigation that went on for 2.5 years, and authorities received several tips about the Socrates area home where the child was eventually located, but each time the residents denied knowing anything about the girl's whereabouts, the release said. The town of Socrates is about 160 miles east of Cayuga Heights. Pretty little girl. You see a picture of her in this said CNN article. Each time we were met with resistance from the occupants of the residence. We were told that the child was not there, that we were only harassing the family. Information coming from the Socrates police chief. On several occasions, investigators were allowed in the home without a warrant, but they were given limited access by Kirk Schultes Jr. and Kirk Schultes Sr., the release added. That changed on Monday when they received information the child was hidden and got a search warrant for the home. Police executed the warrant around 8 p.m., a little after 8. The homeowner denied knowing the girl's whereabouts, saying he had not seen her since missing 2019. Hour into the search, that's when a detective noticed the steps leading to the basement were oddly constructed. Pointed a flashlight in the crack in the wooden steps and saw what seemed to be a blanket. Removed the stairs. That is when they saw a pair of tiny feet. The child and her abductor, Kimberly Cooper, and this is the biological mother, were found hiding in the dark and wet enclosure. I'm going to leave it there. Hello, everybody in the chat. This is ridiculous. Prayers for the child and her other sister. Prayers that she gets the help she needs, mental help, because 6 years old is a pivotal time. You form your identity as a child. Everyone knows this. So imagine growing up for the past 2.5 years, hidden under damn stairs. So, did she ever get to roam around the house, listen to music, watch TV? You can also go into another article and you will see a playhouse built on the property. It's a nice size property, it seems, because it's like a play gym that has the long tube where the kids can slide down in that. So see, this is what I'm saying. Who was that supposed to be for? Because I saw that picture yesterday of the little jungle gym on the property. And it's a nice size jungle gym. So you mean you never let her outside to play? So once again, who was the jungle gym built for? Put there for? Small towns talk, people talk. Once again, who told that the child was there? That means somebody else held the secret alongside the bio mother, father, and his father. What was the life like inside of the house for the child? Did she get the wrong even in the house? You three need your ass beat. This is ridiculous. How can you even think normal after hiding in rooms, basements, under stairs, under beds? Your thought process can't even be normal, secluded, bent up, pent up. Your limbs don't even get to stretch out, folded up. The fuck is wrong with you people? And the person that knew about it, I want to know, how long did you know they were there? Because your ass need time too. If you knew since 2019, if you knew since last week, if you knew longer than the time you called 911, you need to go down too. No more giving free passes to people bringing forward information a day late. How in the world can you sleep knowing she's cooped up in there like that? Did you go in the house? Did you see where they were sleeping? Who told you? So you have to question the messenger. This is asinine. Absolutely asinine. Now we have to pray for the safety of the child, because the parents were able to get her from whoever has her now. So that's what you have to ask yourself now. The father and the grandfather are free. What in the fuck is wrong with this judge? What is wrong with you? Don't go near the child. Excuse me? Do you think the person who has her now don't still live in the same damn place? Jesus. I give up. I give up. Rambling Rome, please, enough. They said they found them in the stairs. The police does not have to lie about executing a search warrant and saying they found her in the stairs. I don't know what they were doing in that house. I didn't live there. And obviously, it was nasty and dirty. So whether they stayed in there 2 hours, 3 hours, hid partially, half of a day, what difference does it make? The point is, she was reported missing. Nobody has seen her. And these people knew they had her hidden in the house. Whether she roamed around the house, stayed in, hid in there. Nobody's going to care if she ever actually stayed in there 1 hour, 2 hours. It's how it looks. It's how it looks. Those are the questions I've asked. Did she get to roam around the house or not? I don't know. I'm not there. I don't live in New York and I don't live in their house. So I don't know what was going on in her house. All I know is what the report says. They were found in the spot. It was dirty and nasty. You can see the pictures. It's still inhumane if you hid in there for 20 minutes, 30 minutes. If you'd like to donate to the channel, $ Big Angie 129 Cash App. Thank you all so much for joining me. As I told you all, the only stories I will report pertaining to children are cases that I have already mentioned, such as Cal City, Summer Wells, Megan Boswell, the children that were found in the new Houston, Texas apartment. I briefly mentioned the three boys who were accused of killing a stepfather out in Houston, Texas a couple weeks ago. But other than that, I will not be discussing any children's stories. I only brought this story to fruition because it had a positive end to it, and the child was found and has been checked out medically and returned back to the custodial guardian. But other than that, I will not be discussing any new cases. I will put to my community board any cases that come along in the queue that I want to highlight. You can feel free to check the queue, check your own Google searches on the said information, but I will not be doing any updates pertaining to any new cases of children missing, dead, deceased, any of that. And I only brought this one because it was so heinous and it had an end result. It had a good ending. No missing, no death. And that is the only reason why I brought this said story to you today. I want to thank you for joining me. God bless all of you. Have a safe week. And thank you all for the prayers. Today I go in for a scan for my throat, and I will see what happens there. I'm going to pray that everything is all good. If not, I'll pray about it and let God take the wheel. Thank you all so much for joining me. You all have a safe week. This is Everyday Shenanigans. Thank you. And prayers for the little girl and her sister. Amen. Thank God that she was found. And we're going to pray that the police department does some formal training pertaining to executing search warrants for missing children and persons, doing due diligence to find people, use surveillance in cases where they feel that perhaps the people are lying about the whereabouts of a said person, because this is a case that shouldn't have even went 2.5 years. They went to that house on several occasions. As I said in my commentary, how long, how many times, I do not know. But the point is, you went there before and you found her on Monday from a tip. So somebody dropped the ball from the New York department, CPS, something. A warrant should have been executed the first time you went there. You should have went the first time and then came back and got a signature from the judge to search the house. That'd be the end of the story. Thank you all for joining me. This is Everyday Shenanigans.